So guys, if you've got hopes of doing well in your journey, right, you have got massive goals, you need to be extremely different to everybody else. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard. You need to have higher expectations of everyone around you. You need to expect more from people when it comes to relationships. And when I say that, I mean friendships, relationships, family, right? You need to have high expectations of all these people. And if these people are not going to support your goal, if these people are going to take you away from your goal, if these people are not going to treat you how a king should be treated, you need to turn the fuck away and walk. It's as simple as that, guys. Regardless of how shit it feels, regardless of the emotional attachment that you have to that person, if you actually want to maintain more focus, if you want to get more done, if you want to experience full belief in yourself, full support, because you'll eventually find people that are going to fully support you, you need to turn around and walk the fuck away. Simple as that. You need to be willing to just walk away from anyone like that, whether it's a brother you just met and you and him are on the same stuff, but he isn't fully on what you're doing. Maybe he brings you down a little bit. Maybe it's good to meet up with them, and it feels good when you're meeting up with them because you're having a laugh, right? And maybe it's a little bit productive, but you want to go further, and he's just not on that journey. There's been multiple people that I've just cut off during my journey. There have been multiple people that I've just distanced myself from. There have been multiple women I've distanced myself from. I've turned around and just fucking walked away because they weren't the person who could support me on my goal. Yes, I had emotional attachment to them, but I had to be selfish. I had to be like, no, this isn't for me. This isn't cut it for me. A lot of fucking guys make the mistake of clinging on to people, right? And there's a difference between the guy that clings on to someone and the guy that just turns around and walks away. The guy that turns around and walks away still has that same emotional attachment as the guy who clings on, but that guy is more definitive, more purpose driven, and he is more disciplined. So when you're a man who is focused on self-improvement, who doesn't go out on the weekends, right, who works on every single aspect on himself in his life to become the best version of him, you should have an extremely high price tag on yourself when it comes to relationships, family, friendships, and intimacy. And you need to be, like I said, you need to be willing to cut friends off, cut women off, cut family off. I've done all three, right? And yesterday, so I was talking to someone, absolutely amazing person. I'm not gonna say their name in this, but great woman, absolutely great woman. But things happened. I made a little mistake for sure, but the value exchange wasn't really the same. It was great, and then it changed, and I started to experience a little bit of doubt in myself, and then that started bleeding into my doubt in myself and my self-improvement journey, my business, and I just had to make that decision. I had to turn around and walk away. I made a slight mistake, take accountability for that, but all in, it's the right decision to make, and it just has to be done. And yeah, there have been multiple people that I've just met, like even just guys that I've just met, that have approached me in fucking coffee shops. Oh, I seen you on TikTok, this and that. I'm like, yeah, we should get a gym session together. They're focused on self-improvement. We get a gym session together. And they just don't fucking tick the boxes for me as a brother. Yeah, they're a good person, good friend, but I just make the decision of turning around and walking the fuck away. Because I need to be so fucking focused on my goal. A guy that I grew up with my full life, he's on a different journey. And I had to just step the fuck away from him. Simple as that. And this is a guy that I spent all my life with. When I was a loser, when I was depressed, I was always in his company. And there was an emotional attachment there. But what did I do? For the sake of my goal, for the sake of my future wife and kids, for the sake of my parents, for the sake of my mum, for the sake of my goals in general, I stepped back, I turned around, and I walked away. Family. I've had family members who aren't on what I'm on, who don't agree with the things that I say on social media. What did I do? I turned around and I walked the fuck away. By doing all of this, I've now got a couple of brothers, close brothers, that support me with everything, that are helping me with everything, that when I make a mistake and I'm being a fucking idiot, when I'm being a prick, they call me the fuck out. They're like, Tony, you're being a fucking prick, I don't agree with that. And we talk about it, come down to the solution. And if it's me that's the problem, boom, I work on it immediately. And these people are some of the best people I've ever met. But if it came to a point where I was being disrespected, or I was being brought down, or there was just simply no alignment, I would turn around and I would walk the fuck away. I've got a very close brother that I talk to, but I don't meet up with him often, right? Why? Because he isn't completely and utterly focused on the same goal as me. So I have love for him. I meet up with him now and again. I message him very regularly, but I don't meet up with him all the time because I need to be focused on my goal. And a lot of the time I actually just spend time alone. I go to coffee shops, put my noise cancelling headphones and just work, because that's what needs to be done. I don't feel any emotional attachment to being more social. I'm social on a daily basis, but I don't need to go out on the weekends, get drunk, and waste my Saturday fucking morning thinking about Saturday night, then waste my Saturday night drinking, then waste my Sunday morning, and then waste the rest of Sunday, and then Monday still feel on edge. I can't afford to fucking do that, guys. I can't afford to lose that much productivity and energy over the next couple of days. And yeah, my whole life I was hated. My whole life I was alone. So if I need to be hated and I need to be alone to pursue my goal, become the best version of me for my family, be the most competent in protecting, providing, serving and leading, that's what just has to be fucking done. And I will do that unapologetically. And I will remove anyone from my life that has to be removed. And I will step on anyone who is in my fucking way, anyone who is competition. I will destroy them with no remorse, no thought, no fucking hesitation. And I'll make mistakes along the way. And I'll have times where I will slip up. I might have times where I do get a bit emotionally attached to a friend or a woman, or even someone in my family. And it'll be better for me to cut them off. I might not, and then I might suffer from it. And it'll be a lesson for me, because I won't procrastinate on it, sit and wait and take it as a loss. I'll strategize, I'll plan, I'll act, and I'll win. So guys, If you want to progress in life, if you are in a friend circle and your friends are doubting you, if you are speaking to a woman and she's not giving you what you need, she's not being the woman that you need her to be, and if you've got family members who that you love but they're not willing to support you, you cut them the fuck off. Be selfish for your goal, because in the grand scheme of things, you're not being selfish, you're being selfless. You're doing it for your family, you're doing it for the people that you love. So guys, I've got nothing else really to say here, but know your worth. If you are, like I previously said, if you're a man and you're on self-improvement, you're consciously working on self-improvement. You're not fucking giving into football every weekend. You're not going out to the club every weekend. You're not gaming, you're not watching porn. You're not fucking snapping hundreds of women on fucking Snapchat trying to get a fucking sniff because you're a little fucking pussy boy. You're not fucking disrespecting people, and you're working on your communication skills, you're working on being a gentleman, you're working on your positivity, you're working on progressing in your own business, or you're working on progressing in college, you're doing the study, you're focusing in college and no one else is but you are. If you're doing all of these things, especially if you're a young guy between 16 and 20, you are already top 15, 20% of guys. And then see if you're taking massive amounts of action daily. You're not scrolling, you're not watching TikTok, you're not listening to motivational videos, you're not being distracted by the fucking devil. You're probably top 10%. So know your fucking worth. Yeah. Maybe a lot of people think you're fucking weird. Maybe a lot of people think that you're different. Maybe a lot of people are repulsed by your massive ambition. But that doesn't mean that you're worth less. That means that you're worth more. That means you have a higher price tag, because the average mind can't comprehend how massive your ambition, your goals and your future success is going to be, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and believe in yourself. Cut people off if you need to cut them the fuck off, and know your worth.